3 things that you wish men could change for the better? Just y'all's opinion. 3 things.
I'm gonna say one thing is their relationship. Now I'm a guy girl, so I'm gonna do that. A lot of men don't really tap into their spiritual side enough for me. Like from what I see, especially with black men. Mm-hmm. I feel like they could lead better, be better, do better if they had their relationship with God to help them. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing. The second thing is not being so persuaded by outside influences, mm-hmm. whether it be their mother, their friends, their jobs, and just really kind of tap into who they are and what they need. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times if you're persuaded by outside influences, you don't even make sound decisions for yourself that's better for yourself. Mm-hmm. And then another thing is just working on their character. Because a lot of men, they don't have, and I'm not saying but a lot of guys don't have good characters. Good integrity for you not to manipulate a woman, for you not to deceive a person, for you not to. So working on that character and building up that person inside, that'll help a whole lot of situations in this society today. That's how I feel.
Okay, well said.
Yeah, our listeners will definitely be taking heed to this. And any other ones, ladies?
She pretty much covered it. Yeah. Okay, what about for the women? If y'all could change something about yourselves, 3 things for the better, what do y'all think?
I would listen more.
Listen more?
Listen more. Literally. Really listen. Okay. Listen. Don't. At times I can answer. Sometimes when someone speaks to me, I listen to respond. Mm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I'm used to doing it. I'm just so, it's like this. I need to just
listen.
And that's why I'm grateful to be amongst you ladies. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm grateful he put me here for this. Okay. I need this. Mm-hmm. I need to listen more. Not only to help me, but to help my family.
Right.
So I want to
say something that's crazy.
Please.
So I'm hearing her say listen, but I also feel that this may be totally women. This may sound disrespectful. I feel like women should also develop a spirit of shut up.
Yes.
I think sometimes when we are quiet, I think people do take it for weakness, but sometimes when you're quiet, you get to hear so many more things. You get to hear the room.
Miss LaTrenda.
So I think sometimes you develop a spirit of shut up. I think, and I don't. Maybe shut up is not the right word.
That's good, Darlene.
Yeah. That's what it is. Ain't no need to put no big label on it. Just be quiet. Shut up.
And women, if women stop taking things so personal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And stop taking things like it's all
in attack.
Doing this all to them.
Yes. Agreed.
And then this is life. Because sometimes I felt like that was, once I got to the point where I stopped feeling like it was all about me, then all the problems I was having, it made me actually get better because I didn't have nobody else to blame. Yeah. Because you can always blame somebody else, but if you just don't take it personal, and then you start developing.
You were going to say something?
I do. I just have a question, and maybe because I'm old. Like social media, I'm looking at social media. I see this woman, beautiful woman. Everybody got the same body, and all one got a name. Okay, that's fine. So you got this man that's on this page with this woman who has on literally no clothes, and then now they're getting married. It's just beautiful. But then again, is it? My question is, can a man seriously share his woman's whole body with the whole world and still have respect for this woman as his wife? Is that a possibility of it for a man?
I think you saw. This is an awesome question. I think it goes into individuals because I know a lot of guys who, you're territorial, and that's not for everybody. And I don't mind that you twerk at home. I don't mind.
I agree.
Right. There's certain dresses that it's like, okay, if you're gonna wear that type of dress, you got to be with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you? I don't know if you're looking to catch something, but.
And I'm gonna add on to that as well.
Yes,
so,
please.
Like
yes,
nowadays,
sir.
like as you said, everybody, social media and everything, right? Everything's very fast paced, right? We live in a very fast paced, world nowadays. And one of them, with that being said, is the same exact concept of that. Then obviously, I'm pretty sure we all know what it is, like OnlyFans, right? So I have a friend of mine, right? She does whatever she wants, right? And her boyfriend is completely content with what she does online. for me and my relationship, we gonna have some problems. That's not for nobody else's eyes but my own.
Yes.
There's no need for you to be doing that because it's not for them to see. That's me. That's mine, not theirs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I will say that it does depend on certain people.
Yeah.
Like he's okay with it. Me, hell no.
Yeah, and then also there's respect factors here. So, for example, if a young man is out, and I know I've seen this before, where I see a young lady with a guy, and if the young man is dressed a certain kind of way, where he's not really kept, or he looks crazy, or his pants might be down to his damn ankles, naturally, another guy can look at her and say, "You don't respect yourself," because as she mentioned, I can't remember where she went, but she mentioned about the bonnet. Well, someone mentioned about the bonnet, and it's to say that, well, you know what? If I'm going to stand next to you and we're in public, you're not going to look crazy.
Right.
And the fact that I can let you look crazy, it says a lot about me. So I think that's a big issue there. And at the end of the day, it just depends on individuals. I think every guy is different, but men and women, I think we just have different, respect levels for ourselves. Because you might look and go, she's crazy for dating a dude like that. And as you just mentioned, she may be beautiful, she may be this and that, but if you're a guy and you're able to marry her, I look down on you now. I'm not judging you, but I'm just looking like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We've all seen her. She's an open restaurant. What are you doing?
Right. But see, some men date women, marry women, not because they're particularly in love with that woman, but that woman make them look good at business meetings or something like that. So she's really like a trophy piece, right? So he don't care nothing about that because it's more strategic than anything, right? Yeah. So you see that mostly with guys of, high influence or money, or not even that. Depending on what type of careers they have. Yeah. So if she's an entertainer, he's an entertainer, they understand that world. Mm-hmm. It's an unwritten set of rules that go on with that world. And so they can understand that. For me, no, you can't put my goods out there. I don't know nobody. I'm not a jealous person, but I'm territorial.
Can you date yourself? Can you deal with yourself?
No.
So what your man has to put up with, could you put up with your man if he was acting like you?
I prefer somebody who kind of act like me, because I'm not as far as like the verbal side of myself.
It's got to be the whole thing now.
Yeah, it's got to be
but I can deal with it to a degree, yeah. But going back to what you were saying about the son and dating your friend, dating your son and stuff like that. Like I don't have problems with stuff like that. Like once my son is of a certain age, that's his choices.
Well, yeah, I was coming from the direction of more of
age.
Not age.
Oh well, yeah.
Personality, behavior,
I can see my son
attitude.
I can definitely see my son dating my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can see my son dating all kinds of people, but just dating. Don't take that rascal serious.
Yes.
Dating, and I'm saying that you with mama and everything else. He's a good guy, but he don't fall into the what you call the niche of your average dude. He kind of different, ain't he, Nick? He kind of kind of different. Don't marry him, just talk to him.
Well, could you marry you?
In a way, yes. In a way, but I know I'm extra. I have an extra. Me and my husband is extra. That's why he's me in a way, but he's the man me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Both of it for my husband. I'm extra. He defines me. Can you see it?
I would love if I can meet a man that act like me, I'll be good.
Because
I know I'm loyal.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Trust me.
Yes, he can. My son, I feel like my son will. Yes, because I try to be everything I want my son to have to his daddy. So definitely, I feel like he do. It's just my mouth.
Right. So now I think you guys took only the good attributes about yourself, but what I'm talking about are the things that make you that woman. Your attitude, right? If you got a temper, if you don't know how to, somebody messed up at Walmart and they got something wrong, can you kind of lay low and just let it slide, or do you got to call the manager and call the manager's manager?
No.
So that's what I'm asking here is, can you date yourself?
Yes.
I would only want to date myself if I was more verbal and more honest with myself. I think a lot of times we're not as honest with
Correct.
ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I'm a little bit, and I don't want to use the word shy because it's not shy, but I am a little reserved when it comes to my expectation of other people. So I would not want to date. I think a weakness of mine is that I am not strong enough to stand up for what I really believe in, what I really want to say, what I really feel. And I'm
Not confrontational.
No, I'm not, and I would not want that for a husband. I wouldn't want to give that to my son.
Well, that's actually a great. I think a lot of guys maybe prefer a woman not to be so.
Extra.
Okay, we'll use that word. I think sometimes it's a good thing to be reserved depending on the situation.
Well, I think now that I'm married for 26 years, 23, I don't remember, married 22 years, 23 years. Now that I'm married for 23 years, I can see that being a weakness because when I need for my husband to hear me, when the first interruption, I'm like, okay. And I wouldn't want that for my son. I wouldn't want him to have a wife.
That's the difference between me. I'm gonna say what I feel. And most likely, and my husband's the same. Like it's like we have to say it in order for us to know that okay, both of us is feeling this. Or he feels this, I need to get this together. Because if I don't say it, he won't listen. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's gonna keep going on if I don't speak up for myself. And Lil Nate don't speak up for himself, and I want his wife to do too. You're not just about to, and you I feel like you should just like it's different. Yeah, agree. But sometimes it takes that in order for y'all to grow.
So do you want to
see what I'm saying? Because now you dealing with stuff that's not even dealt with on your behalf.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, I know we touched on a little bit about, 3 things that we wish you could change with a man, and one of those things being spirituality and stuff like that. But what is another need, I guess, that y'all would say y'all specifically need from a man without using money?
His presence.
Just his presence?
Yes, even in the home. Mm-hmm. Your child, not even only your wife, your child should see that too.
So
they need to see it's okay to interact with my dad interact with me and mom. Mm-hmm. He have me and mommy time, and sometimes when I'm down, he's dealing with mom. They need to see that because if they don't know. I didn't know. Now that I'm married with a child, I didn't know this is how married people move. Oh, I gotta think for us now. Oh my God, I gotta get used to it. See what I'm saying? That was a selfish type. I wasn't taught those things, but now that I'm learning, because he is watching me, it's like I'm forced to be that person that I was never taught to be. All of us is doing it. The men is too. Y'all don't have fathers. Y'all trying to be the best daddy y'all can be and don't know how to do it. It's like a repeat cycle.
Let me tell you this. Most women marry their dads, right? Most women marry their dads, and what I mean by that is every attribute that my dad, whether because he was married to my mother, so I didn't know about their relationship side, right? But I married my dad, inconsistent, that's how my ex-husband is, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever it is about your dad, that's what you seek in a man, unbeknownst to you. You don't even know that you're seeking that out, but it's whatever was displayed in front of you is what you look as acceptable. Wow. So when you're in a relationship with them, it pretty much ends up the same way. That's why when you see teenage mothers, more than likely they have teenage daughters that they had babies in, because you kind of do the same thing. It's a cycle. So with my ex-husband, he's pretty much like my dad. So with that being said, I knew that I did not want to raise my children up with my ex-husband and myself. We were too toxic for one another to raise the children in the house, because my whole thing was I did not want to give my children a false perception of marriage. We together, but we arguing. We're together, but we're not affectionate. We together, but we're not going on family vacation. That's not giving them a true indication of what marriage really is. So for me, it was better to separate. We can give them far more a better experience separate versus together. And so I think that's what we have to realize, like in society, everything is not always status quo. We would want that. But sometimes even if the father is in the home, he's not present.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And he don't have to be cheating. He could be working all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, like what Ava was talking about her dad being a provider. That means he worked,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to provide. So he's not there to aid the, you know, in certain situations.
Yeah.
Some women feel single even in their marriage.
Yeah.
So it's not just so much about that as it is what you need for yourself or what you desire for yourself in your relationship and father figures and all that, because it changes.
Yeah.
So for now, the fellows who might be watching this, in your opinion, what qualifies a man to marry you? What does he have to have?
Me personally, I'm not big on what a man has because we can lose. Just like we got. You see what I'm saying? I'm very mindful of that.
You mean material,
And
you know,
yes,
the tangible thing?
you can
Okay.
have everything in the world, but it will not be right. You see what I'm saying? But my man has to have a mind. He has to be strong because I'm strong. He has to be family oriented because I am. I'm looking for someone the same as me, but a man. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I don't want anyone who I have to force to do anything and they really don't want to do it. Does that make sense? I don't want nobody like that around.
So now, what did you hear in your homes as far as what qualifies a man to marry you? What were some of the things that the ladies in your home?
I wasn't taught it.
For me, the one thing that I knew I had to have was I had to have a man that believed that God was real.
Yes.
And he had to, the one thing I said was the day I met my husband, I said, Lord, I'm done. I'm not dating anything else unless you send it. He has to love you more than you love me. My first conversation with my husband, I thought to myself, am I being wrong? He wasn't here. He was not here when I prayed. But every word that proceeded out of his mouth, now visually I knew when I saw him. My words were, oh God, there is my husband.
Wow.
He didn't hear me say that, but I knew. But after the first conversation, and to hear his love for Christ, I'm like, I'm done. That's all I needed to hear. But like I said, we dated 6 months, but in those 6 months, actually in the first month, I knew what I said was going to come to pass.
Right.
He asked me 3 months later to marry him, and then we still waited for another 3. But I knew. I just knew. And so I think the one thing that for me, he had to have was the love for Christ.